Hello, welcome, good afternoon. Okay, today we are going to be giving this thing a try. We haven't touched this much more than just loading up the game to get to the first scene to see whether or not it's horizontal plus or not. It does appear to be. I've not tweaked any settings or anything along those lines. So most of these are default. I upped the frame rate. Its default was 120. I put it at 144 because that's my refresh rate. Everything else I haven't touched. It does have frame generation and things like this, but they were off by default, which is always nice to see. Everything else, these are just the default settings that were on, other than motion blur. I've turned that off. But yeah, I only know the very basics about this game. It was released on playtest on the 10th. Yep, at that point, Rock Paper Shotgun made note of it, so I made note of it, I had a look at it, and I figured I'd give it a try. So, let's give it a try. Yes, because there's nothing on the old save. A single developer, it says. So yeah, game's horizontal plus by default.
Welcome subject 1473. Name, basement entrance. Occupation, early access security officer. Connection to the program has been established. As direct property of the program, your sole directive is to now serve and comply. Do you comply?
Camera, look.
Compliance confirmed. As merged with the learning algorithm, you are required to execute tasks continuously until your contract hours are fulfilled. You are to serve and comply. Do you comply?
Movement, use W, S, and D.
Compliance confirmed. Displaying subordinate contract hours. Do you agree to the contract terms?
Agreement to terms. Press space to agree. Somebody has definitely played Portal 2.
Compliance confirmed. Notice, prior to contract initiation, subject will undertake preliminary training and calibration protocols. Enter the designated area to undertake.
That's a lot of hours. I hope that number goes down. We're going to be playing this for 6 hours, touch wood, assuming that there's enough content to last for 6 hours. So I expect that number at the end of here to be a 3. This clock better go down. If it doesn't go down, I'm going to be very disappointed. Okay, let's put you back on the single monitor. It does look like the HUD is spanned. There's a T button. What's the T button for? At least it's highlighting a T button. Over there. Probably doesn't do anything in a minute. We need a little bit more sensitivity there. Oh, thank God you've put separate sliders in both of these. It doesn't matter, but some games, the mouse sensitivity is based upon the resolution you're looking at. So that's why I was spinning or doing a circle with the cursor. I was trying to make sure that it was a circular thing. Because if that was oval, that means that my left and right is going to be 3 times faster than my up and down. So having these separate is nice for situations where that is the case, but that is not the case. So that's probably way too much. Yeah, down a bit from there, somewhere in between the two. 42. Life, the universe, and everything. Seems like a good number. Yep, that'll do. Basically, the way I like my sensitivity is one good strong flick should pretty much turn me 360 degrees around.
Navigate through the instructions.
Okay, player movements. Crouch, jump. Oh, so the sprint and dash is separate. Dash might be a dodge. Double jump, C while sprinting to slide. So, yeah, okay, so that's a dodge. And it wants me to slide as well. You can slide for a hell of a distance. Build them faster, please. Is there a cooldown on my dodge? There is. Okay, that's a little bit... Okay, that's a problem. Developers, if you're watching this, can we have an option so that the UI doesn't move? Because I'm going to put you on my left-hand screen, and I'm going to sprint around for a bit. It's disappearing. What good is a UI I can't see? It's already off-screen, but now it's literally off-screen. For reference, my middle monitor is here. So anything on these two screens is already out of field of view. But if you're pushing it all the way off screen, then it's just entirely useless. Even if I turn to look at it, I can't see it. Okay, before we do that, enable enemy HUD. Okay, I was wondering whether or not there wasn't already an option to disable UI or HUD motion. Frame rate is commonly fine, but we'll wait until we actually get into game before we start playing with any of these. I don't know whether... Is it using a depth of field? I don't think it's using depth of field. But if you are using depth of field, developer, an option to turn it off, please. I get the feeling that is that cursor larger than my actual hit area because of my screen resolution? Okay. Staggering enemies. Destruction. Damage will fill the enemy's stagger meter. Once full, the enemy is now staggered. Destroying a staggered enemy will drop resources such as health and ammo. Throw a grenade. Does look like grenades are infinite. I am terrible with arc shot and grenades. Gravity tether. Unlocks the gravity tether. Press V to pick up an object. V again to launch the object. Use the objects to stagger enemies directly or cause environmental damage. You are moving with us. Or at least you're teleporting forward as we're getting forward. Modification traits. Handling 999. Don't act surprised. Weapon mod corrupted. He will never let you go. Repeater effect. Authorized key redacted. Only one of these is actually update wayfinder GIF protocol. Go here, weapon mod corrupted, then unlock routine, execute immediately, of phase to execute immediately of phase termination. Repeater effect generate escape.protocol. Update wavefinder.jpg. Take me and move on. Good luck. Wall ricochet. Projectile will ricochet off the walls. It's going to depend upon how many walls. I mean, I'm guessing that's floor as well. Uncommon, common, common. Magnetic interference increases weapon damage, but projectiles move in random patterns. Will be useful if we have a faster firing weapon. Crit drive increases critical damage. What counts as critical? I assume headshots? Or is there actually a critical stat? Let's take the rare mod because modules will add beneficial modifications to your weapon. Press I to open the weapon configuration. Powerful module configurations will be the key to combat effectiveness. Press I to open inventory.
Calculating selection. Augmentation will be key to your combat effectiveness. Proceed to the next sector.
I'm sure that could...
I need to show you something. But until I explain it, please watch it. You're my only chance now. Come find me after this. Good luck.
Okay, so that got automatically equipped. This is spanning. And here are our inventories. So let's put that on. Modifications, map. I wonder if this map is just not working because we're still in the tutorial area, or if it's scaled wrongly because of our resolution. We'll find out. Credits, volatilium, decryptors, schematics. I'm sure we will get explanations for all of these later. Right. Is sprint push to hold? Or is it hold to sprint? Or okay, it's hold to sprint, but it's tap C to crouch. There needs to be options for that if there aren't already. Crouch, hold. Okay, there's two separate controls. So we don't need to be using C. Control is actually already crouch, which is what we tend to use anyway. Left alt for dash. Where else would I put it though?
Subject 1473. Your compliance is appreciated, but also mandatory. Listen with close attention. I am the program's compliance broadcast manager. You should follow directives with strict instruction. Opening tutorial system. Destruction will lead to advantageous combat benefits. If to avoid failure, you must utilize this data. Example 01. To scatter entity, locate possible destructible structures. Utilize grenade, debris, or scanner entities. Scattered entities are weaker and expel health and ammo upon decimation. Example 02. Scan the environmental combustion objects. Utilize gravity cover to pick up combustion objects. Next, utilize gravity cover to launch objects towards standalone entities. Example 03. When overwhelmed with entity presence, utilize combustion objects to decimate large structures, producing large amounts of debris. This will scatter multiple entities at once. the program sends you. And listening to this informational message.
It's just repeating what we've already been told. Although, was there an actual scanner button? Crouch dash ability is F, which we haven't got yet, I don't think. Show objective, gravity tether. Maybe it is ability? Or when they say scan the or scan the area, do they just mean look around? There may have actually been a control binding written on that thing, but I didn't see it. I think they may just mean look around then. Okay. Kind of want V to be gravity tether. Sorry, not V, E. Reason being, it's easier to hit than V. And use and execute is a less important feature. Yeah, interact is a less important feature. So let's make that one V and make the gravity tether E. Is Q used for anything? Q is used for grapple. We got a lot of maneuverability. White cursor with right objects isn't particularly useful, so the ability to change cursor color would also be nice. Is there any auto-aim? No. It is looking for fairly precise shots. Very duly noted. Okay, we can run through glass. We haven't actually got the grappling hook yet. How did that not stagger you? So the thing we have highlighted is highlighted in green.
Don't worry, he didn't detect me. It was fine. Keep playing ball and get to the end. Initiating preliminary combat protocol in 3, 2, 1, start.
Oh, we didn't miss. Okay, so they explode. You slide for a pretty decent distance, but you don't have much control while you're sliding. No, I think that's fine. The dash is underneath my thumb. I don't think I'm going to be jumping and dashing at the same time, so I think we can make do with that.
Status, subject 1473 showing high algorithmic yield and ready for contract initiation. Surveillance protocol initiated. Observation will persist indefinitely. Good luck.
It does seem pre-rendered cutscenes are spread across all 3 monitors. Which is unfortunate, but... I don't have much choice in the matter. Is that it? The program? Potentially, it looks like it could be. This is where we live now. This is where we sleep. As if we needed, help knowing that this is in fact a bed that we sleep in. What if we want to sleep on the floor? Subject spawn, or subject.spawn. Generate uworld. Upright position area. Start/timer. Max.1 minute. Exit. Subject, that's us. Edible object consumption zone. Generate food. Delay 1 week. Repeat. So it generates food once a week. Authorized mesh standard chair. Welcome home, Subject 1473. That is in fact the time. What I would love to have in here is time remaining in our contract. Because that would be fun. I don't think there is actually something underneath this. The floor is very clean, the ceiling is very industrial. Is sliding faster? Sliding is slightly faster. Sliding dash is probably the quickest way to get around. I am holding E. No, we changed the key combination. You may want to note that, developer. I changed the U's from E to V because E is more important to be or easier to hit in combat.
I've still got some explaining to do. Come find me first.
Explore the containment and find the source of the voice. TV? Ah, you see, I knew it. Too conspicuous. You should allow me to not need to go over there if I've already identified that this is clearly something we can pick up and move.
Welcome to my humble abode. The crux for the simulation. An exploit in the program.
He can't see me here, but surely he saw me enter here. That wasn't exactly discreet. I would have just disappeared downward inside of my room. If he was looking at me in my room, he would see me.
That's me. Or what's left of me. Drop the tip. It'll explain everything. Assault
rifle, hold to unlock. interact. So here's our meta progression. Schematic decryptor, not something we have access to yet. Ooh, field of view broke.
Well done for making it this far, but you've only just begun. I've been here far, far longer. This wretched place will never let you go. An infinite, perpetual testing algorithm, refining itself at our expense. That's all it wants. To learn, to train. We're the rats in his cage. I'll do anything to get my freedom and my life back. Wasn't too long ago I found this place, hidden away. It's different. A flaw in the system. Backdoor access that he doesn't know about. A way out is here. I can feel it. I ran out of time. But you still can. You're gonna get us out of here. You might be my last chance. Last chance for all of us. We better get to work.
Okay, is the field of view permanently broken? Or is it going to fix itself once it gives me camera control back? Okay.
Use this place to your strength. Idris doesn't know we're here. That gate requires a malware key. We have a small window to obtain them between zones. And through there lies a possible escape. I know it. Good luck on your first run. I'd like to say it gets easier, but it doesn't.
Okay, so that sort of thing is weird because that was clearly an in-game cutscene. There's an option in, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Unreal Engine and working with triple monitor resolutions or super ultra wide resolutions, there's an option in pretty much all versions of Unreal Engine that allow you to change how the field of view is calculated. By default, up until about a version a year a bit ago, the default was to maintain the horizontal field of view, which is wrong. It should never have been set to that, but that's always been the way that Unreal Engine worked. This means that as your aspect ratio gets wider and your monitor fills more of your horizontal field of view, the actual field of view that's being rendered gets smaller. So you get what we refer to as vertical minus. It chops off the top and the bottom to maintain the view horizontally, which I said is wrong, is backwards. The reason that happening now was strange is because clearly the option for it to be vertical or bound horizontally, so the field of view will always maintain its horizontal level and then expand out horizontally, horizontal plus, is set. But for whatever reason, when it went into that particular in-game cutscene, it reverted to the other method of rendering. And as far as I was aware, that was just a configuration option, because you override it by changing an ini file. So I don't know why that would happen, but that is what is happening. Encrypted area, you're not authorized to access this. Requires a malware key. That being the case, I assume we get back out through here. Where was it? I don't know, maybe it couldn't have seen me drop down into that hole, but it's almost certainly seen me. Okay, we only have the pistol available. Hold to initiate run. We have an unlimited number of grenades, so we should use them. Okay. Frame rate is still stably at 120 to 140. We can probably bump the quality a little. Let's increase the view distance. Why is shadows high? Textures should always be increased over shadows. Okay, how's that going to be? 90 frames per second. Most of that is probably global illumination.
A twisted, corrupted forest. I'll sink its teeth into you and never let you go. You better get used to the sight of it, as you'll be stuck here for a long time. And I know I won't.
Okay. So, yeah, let's drop the frame rate down to 80, which is fine. I assume that's mostly global illumination rather than anything else. Let's see if we can bump everything else to high. Overall quality high. Leave those off for the time being. Okay, 70 to 80, that'll do me. Press M to open the world map. Clearly, that's a way to get over there. Yeah, I think this is... or the zoom on this is wrong. Provides a shortcut through this zone. Oh, I see. That's what we're looking at the moment. I thought that this might be positioned in the wrong place, but no. It's pointing over there to shortcut through the zone. Okay. Okay, no, they're just lasers. Anomaly entered. Find, upload, and defend the data cube to clear the area. Combat. Remember to utilize your full arsenal for maximum combat effectiveness. Use grenades, gravity tether to stagger enemies. Stagger enemies will drop health and ammo. So what is this? That is whatever one of the currencies is. That's probably one of the currencies we use in Run. Explosives. More explosives over there. That's a lot of bloom. I mean, that makes it easier to defend. Are we supposed to grab it? No, we picked up an explosive. That wasn't what I was aiming at. No, I didn't mean to knock it down, but that works as well. Did this just break? It's telling me to move on. Okay. This doesn't seem right. Speaker box. Object effect none, damage medium. Pathways. Yeah, this should have been a combat zone. It kind of just skipped it. The word within the program is dynamically generated by Idris, ensuring a unique experience each time. Throughout the program, subjects will encounter deviations in the pathway. Choose wisely. Once the path is selected, there's no turning back. We have an obelisk and gambling. Let's see what the obelisk is first. Spend 80 credits for a 50% chance to receive a module of epic rarity or higher. Or nothing at all. I don't think I have the credits. We have 10. Probably because the first combat encounter didn't spawn. That's trippy. That's real trippy. I like it. Why the random speakers? Normally entered, you feel the presence of a powerful entity on this island. Oh. I would like something to throw, but I've not found anything yet. There we go. Okay, so I can grenade while in the middle of reloading. I am hearing you. Oh, okay. Boxes of explosives. Good to know for future reference. I need to get some sort of idea as to what is and isn't a throwable object. Any other boxes of goodies around here? I assume killing enemies gave me money. It did, okay. Yes. E is not the interact button anymore, game. Ooh. Burst fire, triple. Adds 3 rounds to burst fire mode. Adds 3 round burst fire mode to weapon. Weapon deals plus 40% damage when in burst fire mode. Repeated effect. Reduces time between bursts. Oh, I see. So if you have more than one of these, the repeater effect is kicking in. I wonder if pickup is still the same here. It can't be, because we're still in-game. Corrosive shot. Laser. Greatly increases projectile damage, but greatly reduces the fire rate. What would happen if we had laser and burst fire? And we'll go burst fire because it's epic. Even though laser technically adds more damage. That way and a shop and a fire hazard. This way and something. Corrupt. Applies a negative corruption in exchange for a future reward. Why not? Okay. I cannot really hear the tannoy voice. We don't currently have an ability, so this does nothing. Whoop. There's a bit too much bloom. It makes it hard to tell a lot of things apart. But that may actually just be... Bloom being too high is again something else that I've seen that's a result of the resolution that I play at. Although I didn't think it was specifically a issue for Unreal Engine. Can't see any other boxes. reward boxes, that is. Okay. What we got? We actually never equipped the mod that we got previously. Right slot, repeater min. Adds an additional execution to the modification in the adjacent right slot. Disables 2 adjacent slots. Oh. So, if we put this here, and we equip that there, then these 2 slots would cease to function, but they don't exist anyway. Adds a small floating red dot sight to the weapon. Might be useful given the fact that the, again, you've gone for a very white and grey aesthetic. Why is the cursor, what do you call it? The pointer thing in the middle of the screen, why is that white as well? Moves all vertical recoil, but increases horizontal recoil. Decimator orb projectile mod. Epic. A slow moving orb that has a large amount of air resistance, but has a large damage output. Plus damage output, slow velocity. Increases damage when at low health. Creates a burst of ice inflicting freeze. Or during the time with freezing. Deal 20 damage, enemies will become frozen. Repeaters will add additional executions to nominated slots. For example, in the image above, the 2 repeaters have been combined to make the top left mod execute 3 times, effectively tripling its power. Note, the repeater effect listed in the mod description. Note the repeater effect listed in the mod description for expected results when using repeaters. Okay, so it isn't quite as simple as said previously. The repeater effect in this reduces the time between bursts. That doesn't have a repeater effect. That's a body mod. And we don't have an ability. Unless this is how we get an ability. How many projectile mods can we have? Projectile mods grant powerful upgrades to the base projectile of the weapon fires. A weapon can have multiple projectile mods attached at the same time and switch between during combat. Press B to open up the attachment menu and select the desired projectile. Projectile mods consume ammo. When no ammo is present, the weapon will fall back to the standard projectile. Okay. Okay, let's see what all that does. What button did it say? F is ability. B. Semi-auto, triple burst. That basically pauses the game. That's going to go through our ammo real quick. That will also go through our ammo real quick, but let's try it and see what happens. Did we get our corrupt to effect? We picked it up. Or was it, did I just not pay attention? It was for an additional award. Zone sub-entity, strong hostile presence, error entity ID. Corruptor. Applies a negative corruption in exchange for a future reward. So first mini-boss. I should have paid a little bit more attention to what the corruption has said. The future reward may literally have been, it's given me 2 reward chests. We definitely used it because the thing disappeared. Oh no, the thing is still here. The option to do anything with it has gone though. There's our entity. Developers, it would be very nice if, particularly for me, because my cursor can be anywhere on 3 different screens, but it'd be very nice if when I pull up this menu, my mouse cursor is automatically centered to here. I thought it was over there. I've lost track of it now. That's what I was looking for. Didn't get all our health back, but I wanted to stagger it and then just nuke it. I'm guessing this is a rarer chest. Oh no. This is a we give you everything. Decryptor. Restores a moderate amount of damage and health. A powerful projectile imbued with ice. Repeat effect increases the chance to inflict elemental status effects. Ricochet bullets, spinning projectiles that ricochet to additional enemies. Upslot, repeater, minimum. Creates an arc of fire between two projectiles. So that's another projectile type. That's a fire mode. Increases chance of inflicting elemental status effects. Is the... That's a weapon mod, that's a projectile mod. I think we take that because it's just a generic mod that will apply to everything. Increases maximum arcs by 3. Let's swap those. Oh, is it between where they land? Interesting. So that will work with burst fire. We'll see what if it synergizes reasonably well with burst fire or not. Oh, I should also mention, sorry, wrong screen. The gun is probably bigger than it's supposed to be. That tends to be one of the other problems with Unreal Engine games at this kind of resolution, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out when we actually have a bigger gun. Ice and fire. Corruption, receive more damage from enemies. Reward, corruption will be removed when clearing the next stage. 1 extra chest, okay. Okay. Basically, it doesn't matter which way we go. Although there is some sort of combat effect. Higher than usual enemy presence detected. Elemental enemy presence detected. Let's go for the higher than usual detected. Just because that will give us opportunity for more money.
Fragmented zones, glitches in the system. They're uncharted, unpredictable. You never know what lies behind those doors when they open. I've walked into hordes of endless enemies. And sometimes traveled into places echoes of a life long ago. Can't suggest what's best. That's for you to decide.
Okay, mini challenge rooms. There's definitely some amount of auto-aim, which Honestly, if they're going to throw this many enemies at you, and this is like stage 1, then yeah, a little bit of auto-aim is not unappreciated. It is not the E button. I don't know what I grabbed, I don't know how I threw it over there, but... Okay. Homing bullets. Projectiles home towards enemies. Increase homing strength. We already have enough projectile mods. Let's just get more weapon mods. Because again, that applies universally. We need more ammo. Wait, was that not the chest? Oh, fragmented zones. That's what that means. Okay. I really should have checked that first. That's on me for not checking it. The information was available. We don't need help for the minute. NHI categorization. From Gilly Darby. I spent countless cycles studying the entities that now roam this world. These harsh, unrelenting robotic beings. They are unyielding, aggressive, and completely alien to us. No government, corporation, or shadow organization has claimed responsibility for their creation or deployment. So their origin is a question still left unanswered. For years, we've used the term artificial intelligence, or AI, to understand computerized systems capable of thought. But these beings, there's nothing artificial about them. They are autonomously adaptive and horrifically alive in their own way. If anything, they feel like an entire new species, a product of human creationism, yes, but something that has outgrown us, evolved faster in mere days than we have in millennia. We must stop thinking in terms of them as machines. They are not human, not artificial. They are something else, something real. I propose we categorize them in a more fitting category, non-human intelligence, or NHI. This distinction is vital if we are to understand them, let alone survive them. That might give a hint as to... I kind of do like the physics of you just walk into something and it goes flying. Gives hints of what the purpose of the AI we serve at the minute may be here to do. We may be here to learn of the most effective way of killing them, these entities. Slide. Objects, chair. Cursor. Wait, why did they all just disappear? Oh, did it think I left the area? It may have considered that I left the area. They're leading their shots now. I need... That was not an object I was trying to pick up. Unusually high amount of enemies indeed. How much ammo do we actually have now? Okay, we have a decent amount of ammo. Let's switch back over to this thing. I'm looking for things to throw, but I'm out of objects. Ah, god damn it! What is that hotkey? That might actually be... It's not the first time that's happened. It's some sort of search hotkey. Alt space, maybe. Yes, it is. It's Alt Space. 1 second. It's some kind of search window. I don't know whether or not it's Power Tools or Windows itself that's opening it, but it needs to go away. I know Power Tools added a new search facility in it, but I thought I had disabled everything I wasn't using in Power Tools. Alt space, power toys run. Yet no, this not on. Text extender. Okay. That should stop that. Ammo. Nullifies weapon recoil. Legendary. I'll take that. Another legendary. Destroying a staggered enemy that has elemental afflictions applied will explode and spread the leading elemental effect to nearby enemies. Increases spread radius 3 times enemy. Increases spread radius. 3x enemies don't need to be staggered for the explosion to occur. Okay, so if we boost it 3 times, it doesn't need to be staggered. That's not something we can do because we don't have... Ooh, corrupted. We don't have a valid slot layout where we could get 3 boosts on one thing. Oh no, it only needs 2 boosts. That's 2. Nullifies weapon recoil. Let's just put that on. What's this one? That's a projectile mod. Physical projectile that detonates with a moderate explosion. Consumes 2 ammo in use. Adds 2 times optics to the weapon. Destroying a target. I think we picked that up. Increases the spread radius. Because we're already using 2 elemental effects. We may just end up permanently using Ice Shot then. Let's see what we got in here. Projectile mod. We already have homing bullets. So what's this one? Increases damage increases damage relevant to the input sensitivity setting. That is a weird mod. I like that it's a weird mod. Increases damage relative to input sensitivity setting. Weapon damage plus 100%. Plus maximum... Plus maximum sensitivity applies 2 times damage. So if our sensitivity is higher than the default, is that what it's trying to say? Plus sensitivity applies 2 times damage. Weapon damage plus 100%. So that would double the damage. I think it has increased our sensitivity. This feels like it's higher. It's not equipped though. Definitely just doubles the damage, or more than doubles the damage. Increased damage relative to input sensitivity setting. Max sensitivity applies 2 times damage. It may be that it's not actually working correctly. We can technically, yeah, I don't know whether or not that's actually working because the numbers in here aren't changing based upon my sensitivities. But we can actually reduce the mouse movement, or I could change my mouse DPI to counter this. Or counter this requiring me to have the setting higher, but as I said, it just appears to be applying a flat boost. It doesn't appear to actually, at least as far as the numbers are concerned, they're not changing based upon what I have it set to. So I would assume what's supposed to happen here is because we had it set on 42, then the amount of damage it's supposed to do is plus 42%. And at plus 100%, or at 100, then it would do double damage. That's what I think it's supposed to do, but it doesn't appear to be doing that. Playtest. Maybe it's broken. Okay, we got that loot. Didn't we? I thought that was what was in there. Although it wasn't a it was a heal chest. This area contains possible loot. We'll have to assume that we did in fact pick it up, and that was indeed the chest. Missed. I was wondering whether or not I could blow that open. Doesn't look like it. Okay, only one way forward. Ah, I see. That is the other area. Do we actually have the money for this time round? We do. Could double your credits and health, or could half them. Let's roll the dice. That halved my health and my credits. Oh well. Higher than usual enemy presence. Damn it, I got out of range. That would have reset everything. I'm being chased by health. Ouch. That's absolutely not everything. The distortion effect is a little annoying. From picking things up, because it makes it hard to actually see things that are in that space there on my left. Did we get everything? No, we didn't. It wasn't letting me throw that for some reason. Came close a couple of times there to death. Mostly just because of the sheer amount of bloom. Okay, repeater right slots, optics, full auto mode, full auto fire mode. Would I replace the burst fire with that? We have no recoil. Burst fire also increases damage though. Let's grab this. We have the space to make use of it. We're probably not going to use the decimator orb anymore. This is yes, so it would be whatever's in this slot here that would boost. Do we roast that? Increase the spread radius? Or do we boost this? Increases chance of inflicting elemental status. Small increase the base damage, chance to inflict poison, increases projectile damage. I don't need the time between bursts being reduced, so I think we'll do it that way round.
You're approaching a known entity. A strong, difficult fight, designed to break you down. I wish you luck. But that won't save you. Keep your finger on the trigger. And don't hesitate.
If there's no other enemies in here, then this particular build may not actually be as useful because this is going to be irrelevant. The thing that changes or applies elemental effects to other enemies. I wonder if this is scaled correctly. Nope, that's vertical minus as well. That wasn't that hard. Okay. Well, we need this, we need this, we need this. Decryptor unlocks a new item and areas. We almost ran out of ammo though. Where are we heading? Oh. We head down. That is a lot of fog. A lot of bloom and now a lot of fog. I'm guessing that's all that's in the playtest. Otherwise it wouldn't be showing us the advert for the full game. Okay. I am curious as to the method of progression, but if we've already cleared a run, I may have to end stream and start another one because we're only an hour and a half in.
Welcome back. Strange, isn't it? A dying god.
I didn't die.
That's the thing with this place. There is no end. Just a nice little Grinding you go. We've got an escape to formulate.
Okay. So yeah, let's have a look at the meta progression then. Unavailable in the demo. But this is supposed to be a playtest, not a demo. I thought we had more purples than this. We got 35 purples and 2 decryptors. Increases maximum health by 15. Adds an additional module slot to the weapon on cycle start. That is probably the best thing to grab. Optical calibrators. Provides a crate containing optics at the start of the run. That's also not necessarily a bad thing. Decreases dash cooldown. There were a couple of points where I could have done with additional cooldowns, so these are reasonable upgrades. I'll grab that one though. We've not found any schematics. One assumes this doesn't do anything yet. Place found schematics for descriptions. Yeah. Either that or we just never found what we could have got. Okay, new weapon. Select weapon at the start of the run. So where is the next new weapon going to appear? Yeah, looking at the size of this, I'm fairly sure the view models for the weapons are bigger than they're supposed to be. Again, probably because of the resolution I'm using. The field of view on the first person thing. Again, another problem that Unreal Engine tends to have. So not strictly speaking the fault of the developer. Although it is something that they should be able to fix. But they'd have to manually fix it. Can I see... Okay. We can see our weapon grid in this. So this is the weapon grid for this. We said we've unlocked an additional slot. Do we get to pick that slot? Starts with full auto, iron sights. Okay, we pick our weapon, we initiate the run. This is run number 2 actually, game. This area is identical. Wrong scene. This is a relatively nasty first area. That is a particularly nasty first area. Okay, what we got here? Up slot invoker. Open up. Opens any slot in. Opens any slot in a slot vicinity upwards from this slot. Again, pressing E because it's telling me to. Okay, so it needs to stay equipped. Objects thrown with a gravity tether will freeze enemies. Increases the number of elemental afflictions applied. Increases damage to frozen targets. A powerful projectile imbued with ice, which is what we had last time. Let's grab the rarer thing. Only really a couple of places to put this. To make the most use of it, at least. It's way too early to be getting a shop, but we haven't seen a shop. So it'd be nice to know how much things cost in the shop, at least. Really, the shop should be at the back end of the area, not the front.
A rare moment of quiet and serenity. Sometimes I sit in these places for hours, pretending the rest of it wasn't real. There's no threat here. Just a chance to buy what you need. It's such a jarring change of pace. I question whether it's a trick.
Unless there is more money over here, we can't afford anything. So yeah, again, note to the developers, the shop should never spawn in the first area. It's almost guaranteed that you're not going to have the money to buy anything. That wasn't what I was aiming at. credits, health. Fire mode. Adds a charge fire mode weapon. Charge shots deal greater damage the longer the charge is held. Damage ranges from negative 400 plus 400 depending on the charge time. Decimator orb, projectile mod. Blast core body mod. Marked enemies explode on death. Increase explosion radius. Marked? What does marked mean? Out of curiosity. What's that little symbol mean? You feel the presence of a powerful entity on this island. Potential loot, standard. There's more potential loot this way. Let's actually equip this. We still don't have either a grapple or an ability. Spend 50 credits, receive 3 random modules. That's not potentially, that's just and receive. Increases damage for a period after dash-in. Enable and disable, or enables any disabled slots in adjacent horizontal and vertical slots. Increases... Spell checker. Increases damage, or rather, that's a typo. Increases damage when at full health. So... Is that all slots around it, or just those 4? Just those 4. That's probably going to be the best place for it. We have all the extra ones, we may as well just equip them. I don't think there's any reason not to. Okay. That's not the way. This way. I think you are the strong enemy. Increases grenade damage. Adds additional execution of the module in the up slot. Spinning projectile that ricochets to additional enemies. Seemed like something that would be good to add to this. Any little bits of loot around? Okay, can we see the enemy? There's the enemy. I think it got stuck. What we got? Decryptor. Utility mod enables all disabled slots and surrounding this slot. There's this thing again. Is there any point having more than one projectile mod of the same type? Sphere Invoker. It would be good if we could see which ones... Yeah. If it would show us which ones was added by these. I don't think there's any sort of benefit to having the two sitting next to each other. We still only get one in here, so it looks like it's only 5 in one of them. Okay, additional chest to the next area. We have enough money for a basic mod. Where is the shop position-wise? Okay, so we can do this, then double back to the shop. Or we can roll the dice on an obelisk. Let's see if there's anything good in the shop, since it's in a more advantageous position. That hit the wall. Okay, deal additional damage while ability is charging. We still don't have an ability. Extra damage to staggered enemies. Continues to stack indefinitely. Increase weapon damage but reduce accuracy. I wonder what happens if we get this and then we later get excuse me, sorry, the handling boost. Oh, that just immediately applies. Oh no, it just equipped it. Ah, right, yeah, because there's two ways to do that. You can either send it to your inventory or person holding it auto-equips, doesn't it? Serves me right for not paying proper attention. Okay. This should be a little island, so we're going to the next island. Again, what's for the speakers? Okay, here's the shop. Slot Invoker. Optics. Increases damage to burning targets. Increases grenade destructive. We'll buy that just right now. Yes, it's not E, isn't it? And we'll equip it immediately. And then we may come back for something else later. I definitely like what this game is doing. We have enough money to buy one more upgrade, so let's head back and buy one more upgrade. I don't think a scope upgrade is going to help us here, given the fact we've reduced our accuracy by 90%. Opens any slots in a 2 vicinity to the left. We already have way too many slots. Let's just get this. Objects thrown with gravity tether will freeze enemies. Don't we already have that? A powerful projectile imbued with fire. Destroys objects around you. So we finally found an ability. Physical projectiles that detonate with a moderate explosion. Clamps projectile velocities as a low value. Utility mod. Removes projectile gravity. Some modifications grant abilities. Press B to open up the attachment menu. Select the desired ability. You can swap between multiple. Press F to initiate the selected ability. Thrown objects with gravity level will freeze enemies. Increases weapon damage but reduces accuracy. Increases damage while health is maxed. Marked enemies explode on death. There's definitely enemies that are exploding, but I don't know what it means by marked enemies. Because we're not marking enemies. Is that supposed to be staggered enemies explode on death? Increases damage for period after dashing. Increase damage while at full health. Physical projectile that detonates with a moderate explosion. Clamps projectile velocity to a low value. Removes projectile that gravity. The only projectile we have in the minute doesn't really have gravity, does it? At least not strong enough. And let's grab this one. Fire rate down, handling down, weapon damage is up. This is going to be horrendously inaccurate. It bounces and explodes. Potentially good against a large crowd of enemies. Where are we heading? Towards an obelisk and another standard encounter. Spend credits for a 50% chance to receive. We have no credits. Can't interact with it anyway. Okay, so we do actually have to click them for the thing to take effect. I have no idea what I've grabbed or where from. This weapon not being particularly accurate is not helping us here. Yeah. We need to be up close and personal if we want to use this weapon. Oh, this doesn't even have a proximity detonator. It bounces around and then it explodes. That's trash. If it doesn't have a proximity detonator, and it's not going to kill anything. We're not even going to be able to kill the things in the air with it. Okay. Oh, we forgot about our ability. What happens if we use our ability in here? Goodbye, building. Ah, wrong screen. Hazard with games that don't have centralized menus. There's that again. Extra damage to staggered enemies. Increases grenade destructive radius. Let's take this one. We do not have a particularly good set of mods for the boss. Because this is this doesn't have a particularly high projectile speed. Hitting the boss is going to be problematic. I assume everything we have that can be equipped is equipped. Yes. Can we skip? We can. 2 for 2. And we didn't have a particularly good build for that either. Okay. I definitely like what it's doing. There's a few things I would like tweaking, mostly in regards to actually making it slightly more playable on this resolution. It's not a bad game. I think I will push the button to wishlist it. Oh, you're opening it in. Let me do it this way. 1 second, please. We go to here. We go to the store page. And we push the button there. Okay. Now what? Because it's only a fairly short thing. We need to find something else to do. Shouldn't I have the... Yes. I was hoping there'd be a bit more meat to the playtest than that, but never mind. Okay, what I'm going to do is, because we're only 2 hours in, I'm going to... Let me start creating it now, so that I can link to it. Schedule a stream. Reuse the settings from that one, that'll be fine. I'll need to add description later. Need to change the timestamps. I'll take a quick 5-minute break because I need to go to the toilet. Actually, we're close enough to... I'll take an early tea break. So we'll come back at past. And we'll swap over to Greg Tech New Horizon for a bit. Let me just get that up. And then... We're not live on this yet. Although I think it thinks we are. It does think we are. Or does it? No. It's confused. Kind of expected. Right. That should be where the stream will be. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. And I will see you. And we'll play some... Try and find something to do in Greg Tech New Horizons for a bit. So yeah, I will see you in a bit.